Right now on Fox 43 Featured, debate rap. Candidates looking to run the capital city are making their messages clear to voters. Highlights from the Harrisburg mayoral debate this week. And deal deterioration. Dauphin County has backed out of a planned real estate project, losing $400,000, why one county commissioner is being blamed for it. Plus, Art Fest preps. Harrisburg leaders are getting ready for the unofficial start to summer. What to expect from the 57th annual Art Fest along the Susquehanna River. Well, the election is just days away, and this past Tuesday's mayoral debate in Harrisburg covered key concerns like homelessness, gun violence, and reviving Harrisburg's economy. Fox 43's Sydney Nauman has a look at the candidates' latest statements on top-of-mind community concerns.
As the city's mayoral primary comes to a close, leaders in the Harrisburg community and current government officials are talking about tackling top issues. For City Council member Lamont Jones, overcoming homelessness is about addressing the root cause.
We have to get to the core issues and try to get some more services, mental health services, drug and alcohol services, and work with those individuals to help them get back on their feet.
Community activist Tone Cook said solving significant challenges like homelessness takes teamwork.
So I don't want to never speak on something that I'm not sure about. So I will refer it back to my team.
While the solutions vary by candidate, most agreed a lack of housing, especially affordable housing, was a related issue that must be solved to combat homelessness, attract people to the city, and build a stronger economy.
We are going to have some very big, large buildings that are going to be empty very soon and within 6 months. And we need to convert those buildings from office buildings into residential units.
This is candidate Louis Butt's fourth run for Harrisburg mayor, and if elected, he says he would focus on rebranding, focusing on the good things Harrisburg has to offer to the community and the country.
Harrisburg International Aquarium will have the largest number of sharks in the world. And we'll also have an opportunity to cure cancer in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So we need some things that bring a positive light to Harrisburg.
In 2024, that light was clouded by a record-breaking increase in violence, resulting in 22 homicides, the highest totals the city has seen since 1987. During the debate, candidate Jones and Cook talked about targeting youth to stop the spread of violence before it begins, leaning into their own criminal records to serve as a leader by example. Many candidates agreeing that an increase in police force and programs could help curb crime. However, incumbent Wanda Williams says it's not that simple.
We are down about 30 other officers, so we don't have the capacity to be out there 24 hours a day on each corner. And what we've done is we asked for help from the governor, and we asked for help from the Dauphin County.
Partnerships the mayor plans to continue if re-elected. Sydney Nauman, Fox 43 News.
York County's Rapid Transit Service has announced their fixed route service will be free next Tuesday during Pennsylvania's primary election. Riders will be able to board without paying a fare or showing a bus pass. Rapid is partnering with Shiloh Baptist Church in York for the effort. The church is subsidizing the day's fares to allow people a convenient and accessible way to get to the polls. And Dauphin County commissioners have voted to back out of a real estate deal. The failed deal will cost the county $400,000. As Fox 43's James Corrigan reports, that project was spearheaded by the same commissioner who was charged with DUI just last month and is now being blamed for the project's downfall.
A building that was supposed to be Dauphin County's new Human Services building is now a $400,000 hole for the county.
We will have lost $400,000 in taxpayer funds due to a complete lack of follow-through from the person who ran point on this project from the beginning.
That person is Dauphin County Commissioner George Hartwick, and the project is the $10.4 million purchase of the property on 3721 Techport Drive in Swatara Township to become the county's new Human Services Center. The project, however, stalled due to what Commissioner Justin Douglas says was a lack of effort on Hartwick's part, including canceling a meeting with a project stakeholder and lagging on key milestones.
Well, typically you would have had a project manager, a construction manager, an architect, an engineer. You would have had a lot of things determined. You would have known what the project specs were, what the project costs were going to be.
Douglas and Commissioner Mike Prees voted Wednesday to back out of the project and cost the county $400,000 in its deposit in order to save $300,000 for not meeting a future deadline. Hartwick has been under fire after being charged with DUI in April and disappearing for a month and has heard calls to resign, including from his fellow Democrat Douglas. Hartwick responded at the meeting, saying that he had worked on the project in trying to bring its price tag down, and that the county eating the $400,000 is unnecessary.
There's been a lot of work that is done that is not seen related to the project that has gone on to really provide a significant amount of cost savings. This is a project that, quite frankly, have acted on with the opportunity to save $25 million, not jeopardize $400,000 that is currently not at risk.
The lost money comes following the commissioners voting to raise property taxes by 22% 2 months ago. James Corrigan, Fox 43 News.
We also talked one-on-one with Commissioner Hartwick. To hear his side of the story, you can find that full interview on fox43.com. Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis was in Carlisle this week to announce more than $10 million in state grants and loans going to redeveloping a shuttered business. The Lieutenant Governor announced the money will go toward redeveloping the old Frog, Switch, and manufacturing site that closed in 2023 after more than 125 years in business. It will be turned into a new location for businesses and housing. It's part of the Shapiro administration's Sites Initiative, which aims to redevelop 11 strategic sites across the Commonwealth. Harrisburg leaders are getting ready for the area's unofficial start to summer with the return of Arts Fest. City officials gave an update on preparations for the 3-day event coming up on Memorial Day weekend. The festival will feature more than 200 artists, dozens of live performances, and of course, delicious food. Mayor Wanda Williams says Art Fest is more than just an event, it's become a community staple.
Arts Fest delivers. Let us celebrate the artists. Let us support the small businesses, and let us come together to make this Memorial Day weekend one to remember.
57th Annual Arts Fest gets underway Saturday, May 24th and continues through Monday. We have what you need to know ahead of the big event, including a schedule of events right now on fox43.com. And this weekend marks the start of National Safe Boating Week. Fox 43's Kyle Ennis shares the recommendations from state officials on how to enjoy the waters across the Commonwealth with caution.
Zip up those life jackets. For boaters getting into the water, Pennsylvania leaders want safety to come first. The Susquehanna River and lakes across south central PA are going to be filled with boats for Memorial Day weekend, and they have a few important reminders. Before you leave the dock, check the weather.
A little bit of fun, going out there, enjoy the weather, can turn dangerous very quickly.
The Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission's short checklist also includes wearing a life jacket and having a float plan, which could include mapping out your route. The commission also suggests taking education courses and ensuring proper registrations and permits are up to date. Waterways Conservation Officer Caleb Kramer says that when operating recreational boats, those on the water could still be charged with a boater under the influence or BUI if they are intoxicated above .08.
You get people and you mix in a little bit of alcohol or some controlled substances, and you've got people going that fast beside each other. One little slip and then boats are colliding.
While adventures are meant to be a fun-filled day,
80% of boater recreation fatalities are because of not wearing a life jacket. That simple decision could save your life.
Something that takes less than 5 seconds to zip up a life jacket could actually save your kid's life or one of your friends' lives.
Kyle Ennis, Fox 43 News.
A York County state senator is looking to remove fluoride from Pennsylvania's drinking water. What supporters and critics have to say about the proposed legislation. A York County lawmaker is pushing to ban the use of fluoride in Pennsylvania's drinking water. Fox 43's Matt Kleindens has more details of the newly proposed legislation.
The debate over fluoride continues to float downstream, making its way to the Pennsylvania state capitol.
We're not taking it away. We're just saying, en masse, we're not going to publicly medicate all individuals.
Republican State Senator Don Kiefer is proposing a new bill that would ban fluoride from being added to public drinking water, a practice that has been used to combat tooth decay for decades. Kiefer believes that people should be allowed to choose whether to add fluoride to their own water, and cited a JAMA pediatric study that linked high fluoride exposure to lower IQ scores in children.
Really, they didn't think the benefit was worth the risk for children. So again, With all the information, parents can make those decisions on their own, but when you know better, you do better.
The proposal comes as Utah's law banning fluoride from its drinking water takes effect. Back in April, U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced a task force to review guidance on water fluoridation.
So there's no question that it has a true benefit and helps decrease caries teeth.
James Boyle, an oral surgeon in York and trustee for the American Dental Association, says he's critical of efforts to end water fluoridation. He says the research cited by Kiefer is flawed and doesn't reflect how much fluoride is in U.S. water systems.
If you look at Tylenol, if that is taken in a large amount, it will cause liver failure. No question. But you can still buy it over the counter when it's used safely, and the same thing applies to fluoride.
Health experts are encouraging lawmakers to reconsider any efforts to get rid of fluoride, adding that the risk outweigh any benefits.
If you take the fluoride out of the water, you've just increased the amount of dental care that's going to be required and needed.
Again, I just like consent. I like informed consent.
Kiefer says she's currently looking for co-sponsors on her bill and doesn't have a timeline on when she plans to introduce the legislation. Matt Kleindienst, Fox 43 News.
Tuesday marked Alzheimer Advocacy Day, and a report from the Alzheimer's Association of Greater Pennsylvania reveals more people want early detection and treatment options for the disease. In this week's Health Smart report, Fox 43's Amy Lutz looks at the numbers and shares what they mean.
Okay, so this is my mom.
Vacations, birthdays, each photo tells a story frozen in time. For Kristen Gold, Alzheimer's disease didn't just take her mother Janice's life, it stole her long before the end.
People think it's, oh, that person can't find their keys, or that person doesn't remember how to make a phone call. But it's a regression back to infancy.
Her mom was diagnosed with early onset at the young age of 57. Eventually, her body forgot how to swallow, and she passed away weighing just 78 pounds.
So it really just strips you of your dignity and yourself, you know. So it was hard.
Sadly, Kristen's story is one of many. According to the new 2025 Alzheimer's Association's Disease Facts and Figures report, a record-breaking 7.2 million people are living with Alzheimer's. In Pennsylvania alone, more than 282,000. Millions more may be in the early stages and not even know.
Communities are fighting back. The voice of people going through an Alzheimer's diagnosis and their families has been amplified over the years, and we see that in research and public policy and things like the Walk to End Alzheimer's.
Jeremy Bland has worked with the Alzheimer's Association of Greater PA for the last 10 years.
The movement of where we are right now and the fight that people have is like nothing I've ever seen before.
The report found nearly 4 in 5 Americans say they would want to know if they had Alzheimer's disease before it impacted their lives. It also showed they want more treatment options, even if they come with risks, as long as it slows the progression of the disease.
There are 2 treatments for people with early stage Alzheimer's, which is why we are always telling people about early detection.
Though too late for Kristen's mom, she offers an important reminder that time is precious. With more awareness, research, and compassion, she hopes other families one day get to hold on to that time just a little longer. You can read the full 2025 Alzheimer's Disease Facts and Figures report on our website, fox43.com. With your Health Smart report, Amy Lutz, Fox 43 News.
Activists, caregivers, and others impacted by the disease met with lawmakers this week on Alzheimer's Advocacy Day and urged state-level support for care and treatment. State representatives, Alzheimer's Association leaders, and volunteers spoke at the event.
I think it's so important so that our legislatures understand just the reality of the day-to-day and how hard the journey is for families, and to hear from families that have went through it to understand how they can best be helped.
The Alzheimer's Association of Pennsylvania says more than 750,000 Pennsylvanians have either been diagnosed or have loved ones who have Alzheimer's or other dementia-related diseases. A state Senate committee has rejected a bill to legalize recreational marijuana in Pennsylvania. After the break, where future legislation could come from. A bill that would have paved the way for legalizing marijuana in the Commonwealth died during a state Senate committee hearing this week. This comes after the bill passed the state House by just one vote. Fox 43's Matt Kleintons listened in on that hearing and has reactions from the Capitol building.
The vote of 3 ayes to 7 nays, this bill fails.
With that final vote, Pennsylvania House Bill 1200 is officially thwarted.
It's time we in the Pennsylvania Senate do what the people want.
On Tuesday, the Senate Law and Justice Committee considered whether to advance legislation that would legalize marijuana in Pennsylvania, a bill which passed the House by party-line vote last week. Republican State Senator Dan Laughlin says he favors some components of the bill, such as a ban on public smoking and addressing DUI enforcement. However, he's against having the Liquor Control Board sell marijuana through state-owned dispensaries.
The state acting as a buyer will limit consumer choice and drive consumers out of state to neighboring legal markets like Maryland, New Jersey, New York, and Ohio.
The bill was also criticized by Democratic Senator Lisa Boscola, who says the bill isn't a serious attempt to legalize marijuana.
You show me a bill that can pass the Senate and we can all support, I'll be there for you on this issue. I just can't do it today. I need a better bill.
Meredith Schneider with the Pennsylvania Cannabis Coalition believes that the state is moving in the right direction to legalize marijuana, even after Tuesday's committee vote.
We know that more than 70% of Pennsylvanians want adult use cannabis, so the fact that the legislature is being responsive to their constituents, I think, is a really great day for cannabis in Pennsylvania.
She hopes lawmakers will be able to regroup and design a new bill that can make its way to Governor Shapiro's desk.
We stand ready, willing to help with those conversations.
At the end of the committee hearing, Senator Laughlin stated that he looks forward to working with other lawmakers to make a passable adult cannabis bill. He added that if there is a path to legalizing marijuana, then Governor Shapiro needs to roll up his sleeves to help get it passed. In Harrisburg, Matt Kleintons, Fox 43 News.
These are great kids, and I'm just glad that we get to acknowledge their achievements.
The Boys and Girls Club of Lancaster is marking the end of a great school year by celebrating the accomplishments of their students. In this week's On the Bright Side, how the club is helping them learn valuable lessons on their way to becoming the next generation of leaders. The newest ride at Hershey Park is opening this coming Memorial Day weekend. The Twizzlers Twisted Gravity attraction will be the world's tallest swing when it opens Saturday, May 24th. Riders will ascend up to 137 feet and 68 miles per hour for the 1 minute and 10-second ride. Season pass holders will have the chance to ride it ahead of the grand opening Thursday the 22nd and Friday the 23rd. There will also be Twizzler-inspired treats throughout the park to celebrate the grand opening. We have more information right now on fox43.com.
The Boys and Girls Club of Lancaster is marking the end of a great school year by celebrating the accomplishments of their students. And this week's On the Bright Side, we'll show you how the club is helping them learn valuable lessons and helping them on their way to becoming the next generation of leaders. As the school year comes to a close, these students are celebrating their accomplishments. Each is a member of the Boys and Girls Club of Lancaster, spending their afternoons in the Columbia Clubhouse, exploring their interests after class.
Whether they're helping clean up, or whether they're just, having a lot of fun out there in the gym, or whether it's art, or whether it's the robotics program.
For staff and students alike, the awards banquet is a full circle moment.
These are great kids, and I'm just glad that we get to acknowledge their achievements.
One of the students recognized was Rylan Ziegler. Earlier this year, she helped out with the forecast in the Fox 43 studio, an opportunity she earned with the club.
I feel really happy. The club is really my favorite place.
And this spring, she had a chance to go to Penn State and be part of a robotics fair. Most members have lived in Columbia their entire lives. But others have come a long way, like 12-year-old Savine Boozy.
So I'm from Kurdistan and Syria too. So I'm so happy to come in Boys Girls Club. So when I come in Boys Girls Club, I be excited.
One thing all members have in common is they feel the club has helped them grow. Andy Ortiz, who was named Youth of the Year, says it's made her a better leader.
She's intelligent, creative, kind, and generous, and uses curiosity and imagination to navigate her day-to-day life. I cannot think of a better young woman to be receiving this award, and I am honored to be a part of her life.
I'm glad people look up to me because that's all I've ever wanted in life was people to be able to trust me, see me as someone who they could look up to, who could be a helper, because I love working a lot for others and I love making sure that everyone has what they need, and it makes me happy to see that I'm not only just helping the staff but also making some of them life easier.
And as these students continue to work and play, they're learning valuable lessons on their way to becoming the next generation of leaders. The Boys and Girls Club is now transitioning to their summer programming, and they always welcome in new members. You can find more information right now on fox43.com. As always, if you have a bright idea or something positive happening in your life, send me an email at gmediac@fox43.com. On the bright side, I'm Gabrielle Mediac.
Well, that's it for this week's version of Fox 43 Featured. Thanks for spending part of your day with us.